Okay. Do this. Okay, it's working. Okay. Okay. This is setup time. Yes! Alright. It's working. I got it going. What's up, everyone? What's up, y'all? I was gonna do this on Friday or tomorrow, but, yeah, I'm not open for tomorrow. So, we are doing, part 3 of our Legends power scaling tier list. We did part 2, I think, last week, but, yeah, I just don't have time on Friday, or next Friday, so I'm just doing it now. So, all the characters are where we left them off. As you can see, we have quite a few more characters. I don't know if we're going to get through all of them today. I'm not sure if we'll get through all of them today. We're definitely going to get through a few. And so, yeah, again, if you don't know what this is, if you're brand new, basically it's a tier list of many different Star Wars characters, specifically from Star Wars Legends. And it's all based on you guys. You guys kind of pick and choose where you think each of the characters should go in the tier list. We do this live, and then it's recorded afterward to show off. So, we have quite a bit of characters, so we are going to begin, starting with Lady Lumiya. Now, if you don't know who Lumiya is, she was one of the main antagonists after Return of the Jedi. She was a disguised Imperial agent. She worked closely with Luke, and then Luke realized she was bad and shot her X-Wing down. Or not her X-Wing, her TIE fighter, and she was forced to be cybernetically reconstructed. And then, after her reconstruction, she was attacking Luke and his family. And then she ultimately was the one who turned Jacen Solo to the dark side. And then, after Jacen became Kaitis and killed Mara Jade, she faced Grandmaster Luke Skywalker in a final showdown, and that's where she died. So, I think right off the bat, that should put her pretty high up. I mean, she engaged Grandmaster Luke Skywalker. GM Luke Skywalker was challenged by this person. And not only that, but she also faced down with Mara Jade, who... Have we put Mara Jade on the tier? No, Mara Jade hasn't come up yet. We might get to her today. We probably will get to her today. But, yeah, so this is someone who is... She's really skilled with the Light Whip. She has her own unorthodox Light Whip. She's very skilled with Sith magics and Sith sorcery and illusions. She has pressured Luke Skywalker on multiple occasions, both in his Return of the Jedi and GM states. She has dueled with Luke, Tahiri Vela. Was it? No, it wasn't Tahiri Vela. It was Nalani Din and Mara Jade. So, she's pretty capable. So, yeah, alright, guys. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Where would you place her? It's all up to you. Alright, we got Writer Man saying SS tier. I mean, it works. I mean, she is a challenger. I mean, let's look at who we put at SS tier. I mean, Vader and Malgus and Satine, like, I would consider all of these characters as a challenge for, like, a GM Luke Skywalker. Like, so, this is kind of my mentality when I'm thinking about these characters, like, on the different tiers. So, my feeling on this is Unrivaled is you can't beat them. Like, well, you can beat them, but it's basically impossible. Which is why the Mortis gods are here, because they're demigods. SSS tier is they are really freaking powerful. They are mortal, however, and they can be killed. Like, they can be killed, but they are extremely powerful. Like, they are god tier power, but they're mortal, unlike the Unrivaled. SS tier is, they are extremely powerful in the Force. They have the power to take on an SSS. Like, they could hold their own against an SSS, and maybe temporarily against an Unrivaled. They could last more than 2 seconds. But they are very powerful, very strong, very capable, and they are a far cut above all the other tiers below them. S tier is, they could probably take on an SS with some difficulty. They're powerful in their own right. They probably couldn't take on an SSS, and they can't take an Unrivaled. A tier, you're powerful, you're good, you're skilled. A tier is more when you start relying on skill than actual power. Like, you're still significantly powerful, but, you're just not, like, you are starting to rely more on skill than just raw power. B tier, yeah, you're not the most powerful figure. You should probably be relying on skill more than power. C, again, you just have less skill, and D, you suck. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense for Lumaya to be in SS tier. I mean, she has dueled with GM Luke Skywalker, and has challenged him to an extent. And, I mean, Mara Jade, I don't know if I'd put her at SS tier, but she's pretty capable in her own right. So, if you have any arguments to the contrary, put them down below. But, in the meantime, Miss Lumaya is going in SS tier. I'll put her at the bottom. I mean, I'll put her with Satele and Malgus. So, alright, if you have any arguments, put them down below. Otherwise, we are going to move on to Aurra Sing. Now, if you don't know who Aurra Sing is, she was the Padawan of Anya Kuro, and she got abandoned by her master, and she was driven insane into the dark side, and she became a dark side bounty hunter. She killed Sherette Het. She got defeated by Osh'Rod Het, and she had a really cool lightsaber battle with Aayla Secura. It was a really cool lightsaber battle where they did some work with each other. They challenged each other quite a bit, and I don't think we know her fate. Well, in canon, we know that she got pushed off a cliff by a nobody, Tobias Beckett, but in Legends, we don't know her fate. Or, I don't think we know her fate. Do we know her fate in Legends? I don't know. She certainly didn't get pushed off a cliff by Beckett. That was ridiculous. Like, why couldn't they have said, like, Embo? Or, well, Cad Bane doesn't count, but, like, Embo. Come on. Like, or Suji. Yo, Dimon, please enlighten us a bit on Aurra. I literally know nothing about her. Do I prefer this Dark Jedi version? Okay, so, in Legends, Anya Kuro trained her, and I don't know her final fate. I know she was very sadistic. Like, she used to just sneak up on, like, Jedi, and she'd kill their master, or she'd kill their Padawan and let them live, just so she could go after them. She got her ass kicked by Osh'Rod, and then she had a good duel with Aayla Secura in the Clone Wars comics, and she had laid a trap for Thulm and Anya. I think she did die in the EU in the early Legacy era, according to... Okay, so she did die, okay. I prefer the Legends version of Aurra Sing over the canon. I think her getting pushed off a cliff by Beckett is the stupidest explanation for her death. But yeah, okay, so she did die. Well, obviously she died. She's immortal, but she's immortal, so she did die. But yeah. At least in Legends, she was competent, and at least she was pretty good, so... that was pretty good. So, alright, we got another comment coming in. B tier. I mean, she beat Sherrod. I mean, her duel with Sherrod was they were like striking blades, and then she used the force and she like pulled a bunch of rocks into the back of his head and stabbed him. She was a contender for. That's so dumb. Do you mean when you mean B tier or her getting pushed off a cliff by Beckett? Because Beckett is the whole Beckett thing is so dumb. I hate it. But I don't know, like, B tier? Do you think B tier is dumb, or is that whatever? But yeah, the whole thing with Beckett was really stupid. I mean, I don't think canon. I don't understand Disney canon. This is why it's a complete Legends tier list. That's why there's no Kylo Ren or Rey or any of them, because we all know where Rey's going. She's gonna Beckett killing Aura. Yeah, Beckett was. That was so bad. Like, I have a lot of problems with it off-screen at that. Yes. It was off-screen too, but, like, and Beckett isn't even that skilled. Like, Beckett didn't do anything in Solo to make me think that he could take on Aura Singh. Like, especially with her showings in Legends. And even in canon, she's taken on Padawan Ahsoka, which, like, I mean, is better than Beckett. I mean, Padawan Ahsoka isn't, like, the greatest Force user ever, but she's still capable. I mean, she's still a competent duelist. She Force-pushed Ventress, so... I mean, and she almost assassinated Padme, so... Yeah. I'm gonna put her in B tier, as Writerman said. I'll put her around Bespin Luke level. I mean, she can go higher and lower. This isn't really most powerful to least powerful. This is just kind of whatever tier they go into. So if any arguments to the contrary, you can say them, and then we can figure that out. In the meantime, we have Lord Cineratus. I know who this guy is. So, this guy, whoever made this tier list, knows his Star Wars, because Lord Cineratus was, he was one of the, side villains in the Sith Inquisitor storyline in Star Wars The Old Republic. Basically, Darth Thanaton sends his minions to take on Darth Nox's allies, and Nox goes there, and Cineratus killed 2 of his followers, and then Darth Nox kills him in a mini-boss fight, and that's the end of it. So, that's Lord Cineratus. So, I don't know who made this tier list. Who made this tier list? I don't know who made it, but whoever they are, they know their Star Wars, because I honestly got a little confused that was Lord Cineratus. But, yeah, so, I mean, he was really just kind of there. I mean, I've played the Sith Inquisitor storyline. I mean, he wasn't that difficult of a boss. I mean, compared to Thanaton, because I played, when I did the Sith Inquisitor storyline, I did it when Thanaton was still a level 50. So, Thanaton was, like, he was still a challenge back then, but even then, Cineratus was not much of a danger. He was just kind of like, whirlwind, lightning, shock, push, dead. So, I mean, not all that strong. I mean, D tier, yeah. I'm considering putting him in D. I mean, I'll put him with yeah, he just wasn't that good. Like, he was just one of Thanaton's lackeys, and that was about it, so. Alright, now we have a character that all people who know Star Wars Legends should know, and this is the Lord of Hunger, Darth Nihilus. Oh, Nihilus is such a great character. I mean, for a character with no emotions, Nihilus is, like, one of the best written Star Wars characters, even though he has one motive and, like, no personality. He should be a mustache-twirling villain, but he isn't. He's actually, like, cool. So, I don't think we need an explanation to Darth Nihilus. I mean, he's one of the main antagonists in Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords. He trained Visas Marr. He has demonstrated power in the Force to drain entire planets of Force energy with his mastery of Force Drain. SSS tier. I mean, I'd say, yeah, I mean, he's drained entire planets, and if you've seen Rob Terra's versus video of Nihilus versus Vader, he paints a really good picture of that Nihilus wasn't just Force Drain and that's it. Like, a lot of people think he only has Force Drain, but he has no other skills. But Rob Terra's Nihilus vs. Vader actually is like, no, Nihilus is actually more than just Force Drain. He actually has a lot of powers at his disposal, and his saber skills are also very advanced. He'd then add that to the Force Drain with, I mean, draining entire planets of life. So, I'm gonna agree with that. I'm gonna say SSS tier. I mean, if he wasn't killed by Mitra and Visas and Mandalore, he probably would have made it to, like, an unrivaled. Because, like, I mean, planets and stars were drawing his attention, not even people, so he was good. Now, we're gonna go over to someone who is not so powerful, I mean, in comparison to Nihilus. Ima Gunday, whose name is literally I'm going to die. His entire point in life was, I'm going to die. Like, literally when his parents named him, they're like, yep, this child is going to die, so, yep, we want this child to die, he's going to die. So, he's from the Ryloth arc in TCW. I mean, he has a pretty decent final stand. He takes on a pretty good amount of battle droids, holds them off for some time, and then he ultimately gets killed. So, lol, yeah. I mean, he's not incompetent. He didn't get pushed off a cliff by Beckett. No, kidding. C tier, yeah, I'll give him C tier. He at least gave a fight before he went down, unlike some other Jedi. So yeah, he'll get C tier, but that's Ima Gunday. He's pretty meh. Evan Peel. Oh my god. We just went from the Jedi who's literally named after death to the Jedi who got killed by a dog. This is a Jedi Council Master who got killed by a dog. I mean, Coleman Trebor is unfortunately not on this list, and I would have loved to see him on this list. He isn't, though, unfortunately, but, yeah. In his place is where Evan Peel goes. I mean, well, he did have some good stuff in Stark Hyperspace War and with Adi and Eth. He had some good stuff, and he took out a few droids in TCW, but I mean, they really underplayed him. And then I think it was his council seat that Anakin got in Revenge of the Sith, so I think the real reason why Anakin fell to the dark side is because Evan Peel's such a small guy and Anakin's trying to fit in his tiny seat like, I shouldn't have got bulk. I shouldn't have got them, that six-pack. Oh, God. Trying to fit in there. Unless we count Coruscant Knight, his real demise. Oh, yes! Oh my god, it's been so long since I've read Coruscant Knights. Oh my god. You just reminded me about Coruscant Knights. Thank you so much. I forgot about Coruscant Knights. It's either been 2 or 3 years since I've read Coruscant Demise. It's either been 2 or 3 years, so I don't really remember how he died in Coruscant Knights. I don't exactly remember, so, I mean, it's probably better than him getting killed by a dog, because the expanded universe did a lot better at killing its characters than TCW. TCW wasn't always the most successful at that. So, yeah, if you can explain what his death was in Coruscant Demise, that would be great, because I don't remember. Though, what I remember, it was a very good series. But, yeah, I don't remember. I just remember TCW and Stark Hyperspace War. So, I mean, he was cool. He appeared in Phantom Menace for a bit. So, I mean, I'm thinking like C tier, maybe B tier, maybe. I'd say C tier personally, but I mean, yeah, if he did something in Coruscant Nights that like was like god level, like just like it's like I'm missing something. It's like imagine like in the 2.5 Men, like the meme with it, like I feel like I'm forgetting something. Whatever it was, it probably doesn't matter. He's like, yeah, you're right. And it's just Even Peel and Coruscant Nights just lifting a planet. Just lifting a planet and throwing it at a Star Destroyer. Well, maybe a high C tier. I think that's good for Even. I think that's gonna give him the credit he deserves. So we'll give him a high C tier. Alright. Bordering B tier. Yeah, I think he's bordering B tier. I'll put him with Venomous. They're both bordering the B tier, so. Alright. We got Jango Fett. So, this is both Force sensitives and non-Force sensitives. So, we got Jango Fett. I think we should all be good with who Jango Fett is. He was the original. He was the bounty hunter in Attack of the Clones. He's the template for the clone army. He died at Mace Windu's hands, and he also fought Obi-Wan Kenobi during Attack of the Clones. So, yeah, I think we should all know who Jango Fett is. He's a very popular character. Oh, he's not like a popular character, but he's a much more well-known character. A tier. I'll give him A tier. I mean, he has taken shots with Mace Windu, and he's held. I'll put him around Nile Talon level as about because he was. I mean, this isn't best to worst. So I'll just kind of throw him in there. So there he goes. We're going like really fast today. This is about the fastest we've done. So moving on to Kyp Durron. Kyp Durron. If you've read New Jedi Order, he is basically the Jedi that makes canon Luke Skywalker look so bad because Kyp Durron was turned to the dark side by Exar Kun's spirit, took a super weapon and blasted several planets and destroyed them, killing trillions of people, and Luke Skywalker basically went up to him and was like, you know what? I'm gonna help you forgive your sins. I'm gonna help you train as a Jedi and forgive your sins. If this was canon Luke Skywalker, teenage Kyp would have walked right in and Luke would have cut his head off and said, die. Yeah, Kyp Durron is one of the characters that reminds me of why Legends Luke Skywalker is such a great character. Kyp Durron is the NJO version of Anakin. Exactly! He was a slave that got trained as a Jedi, got tempted by the dark side, and found redemption. The big difference is that Kyp actually continued being a Jedi and Vader died. And you also said SSS tier. I agree. Kyp Durron, he was a good lightsaber duelist. He could hold his own against Grandmaster Luke and Jaina Solo. And he was a master of telekinesis to the point where he could actually manipulate a black hole with the Force. Yeah, that's right. Kyp Durron manipulated a black hole with the Force. Kind of like Grandmaster Luke Skywalker. I would argue that Kyp Durron is the second strongest Jedi of New Jedi Order to maybe Kaitis and maybe Jaina. Kaitis and Jaina were definitely... Kaitis might have been slightly stronger, but yeah, I think Kyp and Jaina, after Jacen turned into Kaitis, Jaina and Kyp were probably tied for behind GM Luke. Alright, Inquisitor Jarek. So, Inquisitor Jarek, he's a bit more of an obscure character. He was from the original Jedi Knight series. I think it was Dark Forces, I think. Where he was Inquisitor, and he killed Morgan Katarn. He was searching for the Valley of the Jedi. I think most of us should know who Jarek is, seeing as he's been in so many Versus videos, including one on my channel, Darth Malak vs. Inquisitor Jarek. If you haven't checked that out, I would recommend it. It's probably my best, I would say it's probably my best work, so. I mean, it was my, I feel like each, A tier? Yeah, I'd give him A tier. I mean, Force Destruction. I mean, I'm pretty sure he made that power. Yeah, I'd give him A tier. I mean, some people overrate him, some people underrate him. So, we're gonna give him A tier. I'll throw him at... Whoa! I don't want you. I don't want a Jeep. I'm not even 16. I can't have a car. I'm 15. I'll have a car next year, so... Jarek was in Dark Forces 2, and he's a better version of the Rebels Grand Inquisitor. Okay, thank you for reminding me for Dark Forces 2. And yes, he was better than pretty much all of the, Rebels Inquisitors. I mean, the only one I would say he was not, well, I mean, I would argue for Trilla from Fallen Order, but, power-wise, Jarek stomps her, but, I mean, character-wise, I would say Trilla is the only one who, like, could even rival the Legends Inquisitors. So, but yeah, Jarek was so cool. He was so cool. So, alright, we got Joruus C'baoth. So, this is Joruus C'baoth. This is the original guy, and this is Joruus C'baoth from the Thrawn trilogy. So, the guy with the crazy lightning is the clone from the Thrawn trilogy. This is the original guy. This is the guy who got killed on the thing. I don't think we have a lot. We know that he was an extremist. We know that Anakin loved him, or like was really fascinated with him. Though Obi-Wan was very like, I don't trust this man. Trilla and Masana are the only decent Inquisitors, and yeah, she could only semi-rival him. Yeah, definitely. I mean, still a challenger, but yeah, I mean, when the Force Destruction comes out. So, yeah, so we're gonna... I don't know if there's much about Joruus C'baoth. I mean, there's Joruus and then there's Joruus, so we definitely can place Joruus C'baoth from Thrawn trilogy. I mean, he had the battle meditation, he had the lightning, he didn't use a lightsaber, so I think Joruus C'baoth is actually an unrivaled in terms of lightsaber skill alone, but nah. I'm pretty sure he never, I mean, he never used a lightsaber. There's like one image of him with a lightsaber. Nothing else has him. So, I mean, he was a challenger for Return of the Jedi Luke and Mara Jade. So, I mean, Joruus and Joruus. Ugh. So, is there much? I don't know if there's much. I don't know if there's much on Joruus' sake. I mean, yeah. I mean, if we don't know about Joruus, we can put Joruus. I mean, the clone, Joruus C'baoth, will be, he'll probably be way easier than this, so I'd say, I mean, I would maybe argue that Joruus is D tier or C tier, and but I would say like Joruus C'baoth, I would personally put him around a high B tier to an A tier, but that's just how I would do it. I don't know how you guys would put those two versions of the character. So I mean, yeah. See, I'm not exactly sure. A or B tier for Joruus? Joruus or Joruus? I'm gonna say Joruus. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna put him at the top of B tier. I'm gonna put him above my boy Durach. So, I'll put my boy Joruus right there because he was significantly strong. So, alright, so we got Pre Vizsla. Again, I think we should probably know who Pre Vizsla is. He was the leader of Death Watch. in TCW, and he got killed by TCW Maul. He was the one who used the Darksaber. I mean, Vizsla was decent. I mean, he's contended with TCW, Kenobi, and Maul, and about season 4 or 5 Ahsoka, so he was capable. Definitely a challenger. So, I mean, Darksaber, I mean, there is this duel with Savage Opress, but that was clearly a fake duel. They were faking that out. I mean, he kind of gave TCW Maul a challenge. I mean, Maul was letting him use all his gadgets. But then, Vizsla is definitely below Jango. Oh, I agree. I agree. I mean, Evanova's pre-Vizsla vs. Jango Fett says it all. I mean, yeah, I'm going to give him A tier, and I'll put him right below Jango. But he's definitely below Jango. Definitely. Alright, Sarasu Talon. Sarasu Talon is from Fate of the Jedi, and he was a pretty average Sith, and then he bathed in the pool of knowledge on Mortis, and he became really powerful, and he ended up contending with GM Luke Skywalker. Most of his victories are kinda contravened by the Jedi Code or Honor Code. Yeah, a lot. Like, Ahsoka literally warned him, like, I didn't miss hitting your jetpack. And it's like, of course you need him for another arc, so you had her say that. And, so yeah, a lot of his victories are just kind of due to plot armor, or, like, it's not the Jedi way to kill someone, so. Yeah, I agree. So, Sarasu Talon, I haven't read Fate of the Jedi in a long, long time, so I remember that he contended with GM Luke for a little bit, or he gave him a pretty decent challenge for a time, but that's all I remember from him. Which, I mean, challenging GM Luke Skywalker, I think that says something about his strength, but, yeah, I don't know where I would put him, per se. And I think I'm pretty sure he dueled with Abeloth for a bit, with the rest of the Lost Tribe of the Sith. So, I just remember he bathed in the pool of knowledge, contended with GM Luke Skywalker, and I think he battled Abeloth, but I think he was with... Because he's in that one piece of artwork where Luke, Ben are and it's like a bunch of Sith, and Luke and Ben are fighting Abeloth. I remember he's in that one piece of artwork, which is the piece of artwork that they're using. Yeah, I don't know where I'd put him. Maybe S? Maybe SS? I don't know if I'd put him in SSS. I mean, to get into SSS, that's like a VIP club. SSS is a VIP club, but, yeah, I don't know where I'd put him. Yeah, you guys are probably gonna have to take this one. I don't remember much from Fate of the Jedi. I haven't read that series in a while. I am rereading Yuuzhan Vong War, so I'll probably move over to Legacy of the Force afterwards, and then I'll probably do Fate of the Jedi after that, so yeah, I don't remember much, so I mean, we can move on. If you guys want to rank him, we can. I can leave him for another day, but, yeah, so, you can leave it in the comments, and then, yeah, so, I mean, I don't, alright, oh, Riderman, SS tier. I mean, if you're gonna contend with GM Luke, I guess, I mean, if you can duel with GM Luke, who is obviously very powerful, I'll put him there for now. If you have any arguments to the contrary, put him down below. I'll put him at the bottom. I'll put him with Lady Lumaya. I'll put him with Lady Lumaya. If you have any arguments to the contrary, I will take them into consideration, and we will try and figure out a way to do that. So, alright, moving on, we got Cole Skywalker. So, Cole Skywalker is, I think he was the great-grandson of Luke Skywalker. Wait, was he his great-grandson or his grandson? I think he was, like, his great-grandson or something, so I don't know if he was his grandson. No, he couldn't have been his grandson, because... I mean, it could have been. I don't know, I mean, there's a pretty large, gap between, like, it's at least 100 years between Legacy and Fate of the Jedi. I don't think Ben and Cole, yeah, it would have to be a great-grandson. Cole, I think, was in the first arc where he was cutting down Sith Lords like a complete beast. He was a complete beast. He demonstrated skill in Jar-Kai. He was noted to be one of the most powerful Jedi of the era. And, I mean, he did get killed by Darth Nihil using a bolt of Force lightning. So, I mean... blah. Impressive, I guess. So... there you go. I mean, I don't know where I would place him. So... I'm not exactly sure. But, oh, Rider Man. S tier. I'd put him S tier. I mean... he was carving through Sith like a beast. He was going all out Satele Shan style, but he also didn't get killed by a single. But she also didn't get killed by a single bolt of. Oh, come on! This happened last stream. Escape. That also, for those who weren't at the last stream, that happened as well, and it really ticked me off. So. But yeah, you guys didn't tick me off. It was the computer that ticked me off. Alright, so we got another... where are we? Cole Skywalker, yeah, S tier. Yes, we were at Cole Skywalker. This whole... oh, here's Cade. We'll put Cade right there. Yeah, this whole area are characters that I don't know. Pity we don't have more on him. I know, right? Like, he would have been such a cool character to... like, learn more about. Like, he would have been so cool. He already is so cool for the short amount of time he's in the series. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, there's always fan fictions. There's always, like, writings. There's always fan-made stories we could do. So, because Disney can't handle him. I mean, Disney clearly can't handle him. They can't even handle Luke Skywalker. But, alright, now we're getting to a more well-known character, and this is Kyle Katarn. I think we all know who Kyle Katarn is. I mean, he's one of the staples of Star Wars Legends. He was the second Battle Master of the New Jedi Order. He was pretty good. He defeated both Desan and Jarek, and he was also a survivor of the Yuuzhan Vong War. He dueled Darth Caedus during Legacy of the Force. And, yeah, I mean, he was a Jedi Battle Master. He's arguably the best Jedi Battle Master I think the Order's ever seen. But SS tier for the KK man, yeah. I think SS tier suits him well. Like, for the characters we're putting him with, I think he fits in perfectly. So... yeah, see, we got Darth Vader, just like Gensarai 1's Kyle Katarn vs. Vader. We got Bane, Jaina, Windu. Like I did Windu vs. Katarn. So I think SS suits Kyle Katarn very well. I think he fits in there. Alright, we were just talking about Cole Skywalker. Now we're moving on to Cade Skywalker. Cade Skywalker is the main character of the Legacy comic series. He is, I think, Luke Skywalker's great-grandson, or his great-great-grandson. He was pretty good. I don't think a lot of people give Cade Skywalker the credit. I mean, he invented Dark Transfer, and he was skilled with Shatterpoint. And, I mean, well, he knew Shatterpoint, and then he turned it into Dark Transfer, I believe. And he is dueled with Darth Krayt, Darth Nihil, Darth Talon, Darth Strife, and Darth Azard. He dueled with Talon and Nihil, I think, more than one occasion. And he took on Darth Krayt twice. One time, A tier on his way to becoming S by the end of Legacy. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I put him there. I'm going to put him at the top of A tier. A little bit above Kenobi for Dark Transfer, but, I mean, it doesn't really matter, so. Oh my god. Alright, I think this guy knows, SWTOR quite a bit, because, if you don't know who this Robo guy is, or this Robo guy, no, you're above Lord Scourge. This is Lord Drog. Keep in mind, he was still officially a Padawan 7 years without training. That is true. That is true. I don't think he became a knight until he killed Krayt, so there he goes. So, alright, so this is Lord Drog, and again, because I played the Sith Warrior story arc, I know this, but, yeah, he was, basically, when Darth Barriss betrays the Sith Warrior, he makes Drog his new apprentice. You face Drog on a Hoth, and he's like, I can't die, and then 5 seconds later, you throw him over a railing, and he falls into lava, and then he appears at the end of the storyline in this robot shape. He actually puts Darth Vowron in a, death field, and then he duels the Emperor's Wrath, and gets killed. So, I mean, he again wasn't a really difficult boss fight. I mean, compared to Barriss, because again, I faced Barriss when he was still level 50, and he was quite a challenge, but again, Drog was nothing in comparison. I mean, C tier, maybe D. I don't know if I'd put him D tier, because at least he survived being burned alive long enough for Barriss to repair him. And he did challenge the Emperor's Wrath, but still, I mean, he wasn't that good. He was, again, kind of one of those random boss fights to throw in at the end. I mean, he wasn't that good. I mean, I might give him, I mean, alright, we got Riderman. C tier. I'm giving him low C tier, personally. I mean, I know this isn't best to worst, but he wasn't all that good. So, alright, we're moving on to another SWTOR era character, and this is Lord Scourge. Lord Scourge is from the Revan novel, and from SWTOR, he was the original Emperor's Wrath. He originally teamed up with Revan and Meetra Surik, and then he betrayed Revan and Meetra, and I still have memories of reading that for the first time when he just walks up to Meetra and stabs her, and that was the most disappointing thing I've ever read in Star Wars history. Of any and I read Dark Disciple, and I read The Last Jedi novelization, so S tier, maybe A, yeah. I read those books, and that was a bigger disappointment. Lord Scourge killing Meetra Surik, of all people, off like that, the person who defeated Nihilus, Traya, and Sion, getting just stabbed like that, was just such, then again, I mean, maybe I'm over-exaggerating, because Last Jedi novel and Dark Disciple are pretty bad. So, I'm gonna put him low S tier, high A tier. He was definitely very capable, very powerful. He was a challenger for the Hero of Tython, so. Alright, Luminara Unduli. So, I think we should know who Luminara is. She's a Mirialan. She trained Barriss Offee. She dueled Asajj Ventress TCW. You know, she was good. She was pretty capable. I mean, I think she was, I don't know, was she good with healing? All I remember is that she was a good Surisu specialist. Agreed. Way to kill off a great character so stupidly. Drew Carpenter's one big blemish. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've been replaying KOTOR 1. Oh, C tier for Luminara? Yeah, I'll give her C tier. But I've been replaying KOTOR 1, and it's been a while since I played KOTOR. Like, I've said it before, KOTOR and KOTOR 2 are my all-time favorite Star Wars stories, and it's been like almost a year since I played KOTOR, and and I've been looking back on KOTOR 2, the creative choices in KOTOR 2 are just so fascinating, and like, it's one of the best sequels to anything that I've ever seen, because not only does it act as a sequel to the original game, but it builds on the lore that the first game set up. Like, they set up the Mandalorian Wars and everything, but then we get Malachor and the dark side, and you add Malachor, you add that there were darker things that happened, like, you had, like, Kreia being responsible for Revan and her falling to the dark side, Bao-Dur being responsible for the mass shadow generator, and because of that, like, all these things, like, pile together, and it leads to Mitra cutting off her connection to the Force. Like, it's so, like, I cannot expect Disney to do something like that. Like, the creativity of those games and how they work together. It's a shame we didn't get a third one. Alright. Valkorion. Now, Valkorion is from SWTOR. He's the Sith Emperor Vitiate, just during the Knights of the Fallen Empire and Knights of the Eternal Throne. I mean, he's overpowered the Outlander, who defeated Arkin and Valen with casual ease. Arkin and Valen were very powerful, and I mean, Valkorion in comparison, I mean, Jesus. I mean, Valen's below, but she was able to destroy a power generator. SSS tier, I completely agree. Valkorion is, I wouldn't put him at unrivaled, because I mean, Palpatine, but oh, what? No, Bo-Katan, you get right back here. You do not belong with them. I agree, Valkorion was very powerful. He wasn't the best lightsaber duelist, but just his sheer power in the Force just made up for it. So, wish he was a more interesting character, though. Like, where Nihilus was, he had one vision in mind, he was still interesting because the background, setting him up, like, with the wound in the Force and the Force drain, made him interesting. So, alright, we got Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. Now, there are 3 different Lukes. We got Return of the Jedi, Dark Empire, and then later down we have Grand Master. This is Luke up until the events of, like, Return of the Jedi. I mean, we can add the Thrawn trilogy. I mean, it's not really going to change much if we add his showings against Desan or Jeruah Sabaoth. So, this is Return of the Jedi Luke. So, not Dark Empire and not Grand Master. It's Jedi Knight Luke. So, yeah, the way I look at it is Return of the Jedi is Jedi Knight Luke, Dark Empire is Jedi Master Luke, and Grand Master Luke is, well, Grand Master Luke. So this is Jedi Knight Luke. So, I mean, he held his own against Vader, a conflicted Vader, which, I mean, Vader's very, very powerful, obviously. And then we know in the Return of the Jedi novelization, he briefly deflected Emperor Palpatine's Force Lightning for like 5 seconds, and then he got electrocuted. I mean, at least he didn't just pick up a second lightsaber and block it, and Sidious is like, C tier? I'd give him C tier. I mean, Vader was conflicted, and seeing as how well he did against Desan and Lumaya, I think C tier fits him. Alright, we got Quinlan Vos, and this is specifically Quinlan Vos from the Clone Wars comics. I mean, I think this is a TCW Vos right here, but Nah, man. We're going with the real Quinlan Voss. We're going with the true Quinlan Voss from the comics. The one that defeated Volthae Karko and Sora Bulk. And he had his duel with Dooku in the comics. I think he had 2 duels with Dooku. He did have 2. He had the sparring session, and then he had the actual duel with Dooku. He had Force Lightning. B tier, I agree. Voss was a B tier. I mean, he's contended with some pretty powerful figures. I mean, not crazy powerful, but, like, pretty solid. I'll put him around there. He's probably more powerful than Aura, but we're just going to put him in B tier. So, Darth Malak. The KOTOR is hitting me in the head. I was just talking about KOTOR, now you're giving me Malak. So, I think we all know who Malak was. He was a Jedi during the Mandalorian Wars. Vitiate turned him to the... Well, he was already going towards the dark side, and then Vitiate completed his turn. He got mad at Revan and got his... F tier? What? Malak was not F tier. Malak was pretty good. We gotta give Malak more credit than that. I mean... S tier? Yeah, I think S tier is much more suiting for Malak. I mean, he force-stunned Revan. Broke through his force defenses and whirlwinded him. Like, he would have killed Revan if it wasn't for Bastila's intervention during their first duel on the command ship. Like, he would have killed Revan. Bloody Revan. Like, he would have done it if Bastila didn't intervene. So, I think S tier is very fitting for Darth Malak. So, alright, we're gonna move on. Mara Jade Skywalker. She was the Emperor's hand, or one of the Emperor's hands, and she was sent to kill Luke Skywalker after Palpatine's death, and then, of course, she ends up marrying Luke Skywalker and becoming a Jedi, and, and then she becomes a Jedi Master. She was formidable. She also fought Jaruah C'baoth. She fought Lumaya. And she also fought Darth Kaitis, or Jason Solo at the time, and got tricked by his poison darts. So, S tier as well. Yeah, I see it. I can see why she'd be an S tier. I don't think she's an SS tier, but she'd be good. So, alright. This is a character everybody should know, because he's one of the staples of Star Wars Legends, and that is Darth Plagueis the Wise. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? In fact, I actually have the Plagueis book, actually, like, really near me. I actually have the Plagueis book in my bookshelf in my room, which I'm staring at right now. One of, if not the best novel in all of Star Wars Legends, in all of Star Wars, is the Darth Plagueis novelization. Oh, that book is so good. It's been a while since I've reread it, but it's so good every time. SS tier, I agree, because Plagueis is strong in the Force, but his saber skills are kind of lacking, so I'll give him SS tier, because that suits him. I mean, I wouldn't put him with, like, Valkorion, or Exar Kun, or Kaitis, or Dark Empire Sidious, but he was certainly around the same level as his apprentice in, like, Return of the Jedi and stuff, so. Nomi Sunrider, this is the hero of the Tales of the Jedi. This Nomi Sunrider, she's always so, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like she's always pushed aside in comparison to Exar and Ulic, and that kind of makes me sad, because I really like Nomi. I think she's so cool. So, Nomi is pretty capable. I mean, she was able to use a light version of battle meditation before she even had training. And, she got training from Odan Ur, and I think Ood Banar, but she definitely had training under Odan Ur. I know that. She was like a sorcerer killer. SS tier, I agree. I think Nomi Sunrider is very underrated, actually. I gotta find a versus video for Nomi. Like, I've wanted to use her for a while, but, like, I just don't know any opponents to use her against. But yeah, she's definitely SS tier. Alright, Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this man is a liar, a traitor. He's using a canon photo of Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan Kenobi from a canon comic book revolving around Clone Wars or Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan. So this is mullet Kenobi. Kenobi, well, he still has his mullet. I mean, he held his own against Jango, even with Boba interfering with Slave One. And he couldn't win against Dooku. How about Zana? Oh, Zana's already been placed. Zana is in A tier. Oh, you mean for the matchup? I mean, oh, that could be interesting. I mean, Nomi Sunrider was like trained to be a sorcerer, like killer. Like she was trained for opponents like Zana. So that could be interesting. Like Nomi Sunrider going against a sorcerer, which are literally the character that she's trained to fight. Attack of the Clones is B tier, though borderline C. Yeah, low tier B, high tier C. I'm gonna put him around, I'll put him around Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker level, because that sounds about right for him. Alright, we got Master Plo Koon, as in Zana vs. Nomi. Yeah, I know. It's Darth Zana vs. Nomi Sunrider. That could be really interesting, though. I'm gonna have to put some thought into that. Because, actually, lightsabers combat would actually go into Zana's hands, because Nomi isn't bad with a lightsaber, but, she hasn't, taken on, like, Sero Jazz and Darth Bane with lightsaber combat. She's taken out a few thugs. So, yeah, so... Alright, we're moving on to Plo Koon. So, yeah, so I think we all know who Plo Koon is. He was a member of the Jedi Council during the Clone Wars. I personally believe that he definitively bested Ventress with a broken arm. I know Ventress fled, but I think Plo Koon would have won that fight, personally, with a broken arm. So imagine what he could have done without a broken arm. He probably could have definitively beat her. And I feel like there's another opponent he faced. I know he faced Aurra Sing in TCW, but that was TCW. He was able to survive in space temporarily, though that was definitely due to his mask. Plo is definitely an A or B tier. Oh, definitely. Yeah. That's giving him the justice he deserves. Ah! No, go away. Sorry about that. Yeah, he beat Ventress. Sorry, I have my phone on me for comments because I can't actually see the comments on the computer. And I had a phone call. I'm like, no! I'm missing comments. Yeah, he beat Ventress. So I'm going to give him a high tier B. Maybe even a low... I'm going to give him a low tier A. Because... Maybe it's just because I really like Plo Koon. I don't know. But he is definitely a high B tier, low A tier character. So, definitely. Alright. Oh god, this is the bad version of Quinlan Vos. This is TCW Quinlan. He fought Savage in the comics, but was stalled by getting unmasked, kind of. Yeah, oh, that was who he fought, Savage. Yeah, I never really... Why did he survive that, and how did Savage beat him? Like, I don't understand how he got distracted like that, but, yeah. Alright, we're facing, Master Surfer Dude. They call him TCW Quinlan Vos, but that isn't Quinlan Vos. That's just a completely different character. So yeah, for all you people who say Dave Filoni is saving Star Wars, look at what he did to my boy Quinlan Vos. My boy Quinlan Vos got just his character assassinated as Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, and I stand by that. So... No, Filoni isn't the god-tier savior of Star Wars that everyone calls him. I mean, if he was, Quinlan Vos would have been handled correctly. General Grievous would have been handled correctly. Asajj Ventress would have been handled correctly. I mean, sure, Ahsoka got better, but, like, she was a train wreck when she started. Quinlan Lebowski. Yes. Yup, Quinlan Lebowski. That sounds about right. I don't like TCW. Yeah, we're gonna have to call him Quinlan Lebowski. We can't call him Quinlan Vos. We gotta call him Quinlan Lebowski now. Also, Thulm had killed off screen, and Romance with Ventress is cringe. Yes. Oh my god, I hate Dark Disciple. Like, I am honestly tied between which Star Wars novel is my least favorite, and it's between Dark Disciple and The Last Jedi novelization. But, for those two, but, like, why? I like Thulm. Don't kill Thulm. Thulm was awesome. And, yeah, I hated their relationship. It was so bad. It was so bad. And why did he lose to Cad Bane? Like, why did he lose to Cad Bane? He should have defeated Cad Bane. Plus, Kenobi was there too, so, like, they should have both, like, been able to defeat him. But, I'm thinking, like, D tier. I mean, it's been a while. I've read Dark Disciple once, and that was 2 years ago. And I have not touched that book since. I have never touched it again, because it was that bad. So, and I probably never will reread that book. I will definitely reread, like, the Plagueis novel, or the Clone Wars comics, where Quinlan Vos is handled correctly. But yeah, I would honestly put him in D tier. Like, if you guys have any arguments, like, I know apparently in Dark Disciple, I remember he was, like, jacked up to, like, a god tier for some weird reason. But yeah, I think based on his showings with Cad Bane, and plus I kind of just hate his character. I just kind of hate how they handle him. And I mean, this is supposed to be an objective power scale, but, like, come on. But hey, I had, in the last stream, we had to put Jocasta in C tier because someone would refuse to just use Legends and refuse to not use her duel with the Grand Inquisitor. I'm like, but, like, in Legends, she would have been an F tier. She just gets picked up by Vader and stabbed. So, yeah, I'm putting her there. I'm putting Vos there. Lebowski there. But, yeah. Moving on to a character I do like. Not that I don't like Quinlan Vos. I just don't like Quinlan Lebowski. But, Rom Kota. Rom Kota was one of the Jedi in The Force Unleashed. He was Galen Merrick's first Jedi victory. He got blinded, and then he turned into a drunk, and then he got recruited by Galen to help him build a rebel alliance. And, yeah, and then, he ended up helping Galen train to become a Jedi, and then he ended up training his clone in the Jedi arts. Or the Starkiller clone in the Jedi arts. So, that was pretty cool. So, I think Kota is a little underrated. I mean, I do agree that Galen Merrick is extremely overestimated. But, I mean, Kota gave him a good fight. Like, in the video game, it is a hard fight. And he breached Galen. Well, I was gonna say breaching Galen's force wall was difficult, but it's not really. Kota is the GOAT. Not putting him in TCW was a sin. Oh, yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of glad they didn't put him in TCW because of how they handled Quinlan. I just, like, well, to be fair, they handled Luminara and Plo Koon correct, so, yeah, I wish Kota was better. Borderline B tier, I agree. Kota was awesome. Like, he was, again, so unique. Like, that's what, the Disney films are lacking. Uniqueness, they're all the same. Like, Kota, he was the Jedi who didn't trust the clone troopers. He was the militant Jedi. Like, my god. Like, I'm gonna put him next to KO just simply because they both have Jedi battle armor, and that's just awesome. So, alright, we got Yaddle. We got Master Yaddle. So, Yaddle, she's the other member of Yoda species. She had an orange lightsaber, which is just awesome because I love orange lightsabers. I used the orange lightsaber throughout Jedi Fallen Order. I thought it was so awesome. And I remember she got trapped in that cave for like a few hundred years, and then they just kind of let her out, and she's just like, okay, bye guys, just left. And then I think she ended up, like, saving them or something, so. And I remember that she sacrificed herself to stop a poison or some sort of, like, toxic weapon, and she took it in, kind of like Uriel Poof, and she saved Anakin's life in the early stages of the Clone Wars. So, yeah, my girl Yaddle. She's definitely not one of my favorite characters, but she's definitely not one of my least favorite characters, either, so. There she goes. Yeah, I'd put her around C or D tier. I mean, Yaddle is probably an A tier, nearing an S. Really? I mean, definitely with the showing where she takes in the toxin. Like, yeah. I mean, that was a pretty good feat. That was like on the tier. So I'll give her A. Oh wait, no, not TCW. Give me Yaddle. I'll put her with like Vodo and Kenobi. So, alright, now we got another great Jedi. She doesn't originate from The Force Unleashed, but she is a great character nonetheless, is Shaak Ti. Shaak Ti was a Togrutan Jedi Master during the Clone Wars. She was also on the Jedi Council. She dueled pre-suit Darth Vader during Operation Nightfall, and then she survived on Felucia, and then she dueled Galen Marek on Felucia, and when she died, the planet of Felucia literally went dark because her presence in the light was so powerful. Like, that speaks to how strong she was. And she dueled General Grievous on Hypori and Coruscant. And she took on all those Magna Guards in the Micro series when she dual-wielded the staff with the lightsaber. I love that fight scene in the Micro series. I just rewatched the Micro series, and I forgot how much I love it. So, like, but that's just one of my favorite fight scenes, is just in that series, and Shaak Ti's on par with Plo, maybe a teensy higher. I agree. I would actually put her slightly higher, like, simply because Plo Koon has the lacking physicality. He has the physical issues, so I'll put him above Plo. She doesn't have his physical handicaps, but they are in the same league, definitely. All right, this is an unorthodox one, and this is Shadao Shay. And Shadao Shay, he was imagine what her duel with Anakin could have been instead of Disney just killing her off. I know, it would have been so cool. Like, now, imagine in The Force Unleashed as Vader is talking to Galen about her, and there was just a flashback of T and Anakin dueling and her retreating. That would have been so cool. Like, and killing her off in that way was so ridiculous because, like, she was meditating. Like, why was she meditating? The temple was burning. Jedi were getting slaughtered. Why was she meditating? Shaak Ti would have been out there, lightsaber ready, hacking apart clone troopers like nothing, and getting as many younglings and Padawans to safety like she does in Legends. I don't understand Disney Star Wars. I don't understand the canon. I don't keep up with Disney lore, so, again, I don't know. So, again, I don't really know much about how that's, yeah, so we got Shadao Shay, this was the Yuuzhan Vong Slayer, who, fought Corran Horn in, NJO. So, I think that book is coming up. Agreed, yeah. Legends for the win. This is why we're doing the Legends tier list and not the canon one. Because I didn't want my awesome Legends characters touching those pathetic Disney characters. So, yeah, because Legends for life. The EU is so much better than canon. But, yeah, we got Shadao Shay. I mean, he was a Yuuzhan Vong Slayer, so resistance to force abilities. He fought Corran Horn, and Corran Horn is just awesome. He's one of my favorite Jedi. So, I mean, again, Corran Horn is another really unique Jedi with a lot of creative writing, with his inability to use telekinesis, but was really good with elite illusions and Tutamentis. Well, I mean, he wasn't incapable of telekinesis. he could use telekinesis. It was just really difficult for him. But again, that would have been so creative. Like, jeez. Like, never mind. Imagine making Finn and Rey Jedi and making Finn have a lacking telekinesis but being really strong with like telepathy or something. Like that would have been so cool. Or make Rey, give Rey one weakness, give her a weakness against telekinesis, and give her like an advantage with something else. Like, jeez, make it unique. So I mean we can skip Shadow Veo, or not Shadow Veo. Is Shadow Veo even on this list? I think he is. I think Shadow is. Corrin is pretty much an NJO Obi-Wan. I agree. If Kip Duron is the NJO Anakin, then Corrin Horn is the NJO Obi-Wan. I mean, he worships the light side of the Force. He's a renowned sword master. He kind of has a weaker connection to the Force. He's still powerful, but he has that little weakness in the Force, and he's a lot more tactical with his abilities. He's a lot more subversive, a lot more tactical, a lot more skilled. And again, Michael Stackpole wanted to put Corrin in Disney canon if they let him. Thank God they didn't. Yeah. Wait, when did you say you wanted to put Corrin Horn in canon? I didn't know that. I mean, oh, he wrote iJedi. I mean, personally, I love Corrin Horn. He's one of my favorite Jedi. He's like my top 10 favorite Jedi. He's in there. But I don't trust Disney. If they couldn't handle Luke freaking Skywalker, how could they handle Corrin Horn? And plus, I just can't take Rey being better than all the Jedi. She isn't, though. I mean, like, power-wise, like, why did they have to wipe out all the Jedi Oh, he said it on Twitter. Oh, okay. Like, why? Like, why did they have all the Jedi wiped out at the beginning of the sequels? They should have had the new Jedi Order in power. They should have had Luke at the height of his power. Have Rey as just a student of Luke's Jedi Academy. Corrin Horn is an A tier. Yes, we already placed Corrin, and he is an A tier. We already placed Corrin Horn. He's an A tier. So, I mean, like, sorry, I'm late. Oh, it's all good, my dude. It's all good. The live stream's still going. I mean, you're not late. So, no one's really late. Yep, A tier it is. Oh, for Shadao Shay? Yeah, we'll put Shadao Shay matched Corrin Horn, so we'll put him around there, so we'll put Corrin Horn with Shadao Shay. There he goes. So, alright, who is this guy? The big axe. I remember him from the Quinlan Vos is B tier. Yeah, we put Vos in B tier. The one in D tier is TCW. The one from Legends is in B tier to my knowledge. So the Quinlan Vos who beat Sorbulk and Volfe Karko and dueled Ayla and all that. The Legends one, like in the comics, is in B tier for sure. We're just saying TCW. Damage. I sat through the Rise of Kylo Ren comics, the ones about how Ben Solo became Kylo, and they're just bleh. I didn't read them completely. But I kind of skimmed through them, and I was just okay. Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna give Quinlan Vos justice. We had a whole conversation about Vos earlier, but yeah, the Rise of Kylo Ren comics, like for what I saw with Palpatine just blowing up the temple from like across the galaxy and Snoke being like the garden man, and the Knights of Ren, and how his first Jedi kill was an accident, and then how he just got so mad he just broke the Kyber crystal, and like I'm pretty sure, like correct me if I'm wrong, but in the comic I'm pretty sure the reason his saber hilt goes from chrome to black is because the metal burned when the lightsaber overloaded, which that is the most ridiculous answer for that I've ever seen. I mean, like, the only one thing I liked in that comic was how he had a friend, and then the friend died, which cemented his place to the dark side. But he should have already been turned. He should have already been convinced. Apparently, the temple was blown by Kylo while he was throwing a fit. Yeah. Snoke is a wasted character. Yes. Yes, he is. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what Snoke was in the first place. Like, I don't understand what Snoke was. With, he was, like, made in the pickle jar, and, like, by Palpatine, like, I mean, the only thing I'm okay with is how they kinda kept it, like, Legends, like, you can't, like, there's always gonna be one problem when you clone Force sensitive, like, with Star Killer, it was the visions, and then, with Sabayoth, it was the insanity, but, yeah, Snoke could have been handled really well. Like, I had ideas for, going into Last Jedi, into the theater. I remember I had a whole theory that, after Anakin got burned on Mustafar, Palpatine was, like, mad at him, and Snoke was, like, his new secret apprentice that he was training in the shadows to one day overthrow Vader, and then his eyes got set on Luke, and he rejected Snoke. So Snoke kind of, took Kylo as an apprentice to be like a last F you to Luke, be like, ha! See, my master wants the Skywalkers, but now I have the Skywalkers. But, of course, they didn't do anything with that. Yeah, and I also hate, a friend of mine told me this, because I have a friend who, he isn't into the, like, he hates the sequel trilogy even more than I do, like, and I despise those movies, and, he hates them even more than me, but, he explained to me that, apparently, Palpatine was the one who influenced Luke from across the galaxy or Snoke was the one who influenced Luke to start the Jedi, meaning Luke hasn't done anything right in the new canon. Like, his whole purpose in Disney canon was to get screwed over, and that pisses me off so much. That Snoke literally convinced Luke to make the Jedi Order to blow it up. Like, they hate Luke. The people at Lucasfilm hate Luke Skywalker, and it is so apparent that they... Like, the sequel trilogy isn't a sequel trilogy. It's just Disney's failed attempt at making an original trilogy. And their way of trying to make Rey likable is them trying to make Luke unlikable and making him pathetic, which is not how that works. That's not how it works. You actually have to make Rey an interesting character. So, anyway, my rant is over. I'm gonna move on. My rant is over, but, I had a Nerd Rage rant. I had a Nerd Rage rant, if you remember, like, Gensarai 1. I just had my first... Well, I've had other Nerd Rage rants, but, yeah, so... At least The Force Awakens was kind of a... Yeah, Force Awakens was watchable at best. I still don't like how they handled Han Solo. Rey defeating Kylo, not a big fan of that. But, like, it was okay. Like, for what it was, it was alright. It wasn't as bad as Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, for sure. So, alright, so there's... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the characters I don't know, I'm gonna put them in F tier, because... So these are all the characters I don't know. If you guys know them, then leave them in the comments and I'll place them. So, or where we don't know. I don't know who this axe guy is. I don't know who this guy with the axe is. So, if you guys know who the axe is, full of logical gaps. Yes, that's very true. I mean, the problem with Force Awakens, in my opinion, is they don't explain anything. And that's just a problem with, I have with J.J. Abrams as a director. he just, like, I've actually heard, and it was based off a criticism of The Rise of Skywalker, where a writer who, like, actually explains it as Baruas Sabayoth. Oh, this is, Joruus Sabayoth. We put Joruus. We got my boy Joruus. Where did we put Joruus? Oh, we put Joruus right here. Here's Joruus. But yeah. J.J. Abrams' big problem is he doesn't care about, like, he's like, look, it's an action sequence. Look, all these things are happening, but he's not explaining them. Like, at least Rian Johnson with The Last Jedi tried to explain it. He didn't do a very good job, but he at least tried. Or JJ was just like, look, Palpatine's back. Action sequences. Raise his grandkid, and, like, didn't explain any of it. And it left, everyone else to have to try and cover up his plot holes, which he should have never had to do. So, yeah. I'm gonna try not to rant as long. So, it looks like my computer's dying. So, I say, let's go to Tenel Ka. We'll go all the way to Tenel Ka, and then we'll finish. And I'll probably have another live stream next Friday, if not next Saturday. So, not this Saturday, next Saturday, or next Friday. So, that'll probably be my next one. So, we'll go up to Tenel Ka, and then that'll be it. And I mean, we can all have we can have discussions along the way. We can keep it going. So, and then that way we can have it even. We can still have a part 4 where the Royal Guard is Kir Karnos. And he's a Force sensitive and ruled over the Imperial factions, but didn't do anything outrageous. Okay, so that was Kir Karnos. Okay, that was Kir Karnos. I had him on the tip of my tongue, but I wasn't sure who he was, so I kept off of him for a while. But that was Kir Karnos. Okay, thank you. Okay, so yeah, C tier. I'd put him C tier. So, I don't know any of these first 4 characters, so I don't know who this guy is. I know this is Luke, but I don't know which version of Luke this is. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who that guy is. So, because I don't know which version of Luke that is, because we have, Grandmaster Luke, right here. Here's Grandmaster. Here's my Grandmaster boy, and then here's Dark Empire. We've already done, Bespin. We've already done Empire Strikes Back Luke, and we've already done Return of the Jedi Luke. So I don't know who that Luke is. Is it like a... Wait! Is this the clone? Is this Joruus Sabayoth's clone from the Thrawn trilogy? The clone of Luke? This might be the clone of Luke from that... Maybe it's La'uk? Yeah, it might be La'uk. It might be La'uk. Yeah, you know what? It's we're gonna say it's La'uk. I don't care. We're gonna make it La'uk. Even if it isn't, he's gonna be La'uk. But I think that makes the most sense. So, yeah, there's no other La'uk. So, oh, that hand clone guy. Yeah, it's the hand clone. I mean, one of the weirder aspects of the Thrawn trilogy. I thought it was still cool, but so yeah, that guy is a B tier. I would agree. I mean, low B tier. I mean. He was a challenger. I'll put him, like, right there. I'll put him around the bottom, around Return of the Jedi Luke. So, yeah, we'll put him there. So, there he goes. So, alright. Okay, so this one's gonna have to be your choice. This is Ahsoka Tano from TCW. So, do you guys want to use Season 7, or do you want to just stick with Season 5? Because the point of the tier list is to be purely Legends, no canon, and TCW Season 7 is the only season that's made by Disney. Season 5 was on Cartoon Network, so we can either do Season 5 Ahsoka, because that's when she wasn't canon, or if you guys want, we can do Season 7. Because I think we did Season 7 when we did, TCW Mall. I haven't watched the first live stream in a while, so if you guys want to use Season 7 Ahsoka, we can. If you want to use Season 5 Ahsoka, we can also use that. So, We're not using Rebels, though. We're not going as far as Rebels, because Rebels Ahsoka isn't on here. But, yeah, so if you guys want to use... You guys can decide Season 7 or Season 5, because the final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, or TCW, was... That and Jedi Fallen Order have been the 2 things I've enjoyed about Disney canon, or at least the most, because... Which Season 7? If it's Season 5, I'd say... Season 7 of the Clone Wars, Siege of Mandalore. Siege of Mandalore. So, if we did Season 7, it would be, Siege of Mandalore, Order 66. So, I'm getting a low B tier, I'm getting B tier. I think we're agreeing on B tier. Yeah, we're all saying B tier. I'll give her B tier. I agree. I mean, she held off Barriss and Ventress, so she was capable. Alright, we got Darth Nox. Yeah, mid B tier. Season 5 Ahsoka Tano is my favorite. Yeah, Ahsoka is, without a doubt, in terms of canon characters, she's one of, if not the best. In terms of pure canon, because I know TCW is now canon, she's probably my favorite canon character. Obi-Wan is my favorite character overall, but in terms of canon, she's just purely Star Wars canon, she's my favorite. So, yeah, I love Ahsoka. She's so cool. Ahsoka is what a strong female character looks like, not Rey. Yeah, so we got Darth Nox. Darth Nox is, the Sith Inquisitor character from SWTOR. So, basically, your character, and this is kind of hard, because, they have, the Emperor's Wrath. They have all of the, main SWTOR Force users. They have the Sith Inquisitor class, the Jedi Knight class, Hero of Tython, the Emperor's Wrath, the Sith Warrior class, and then they have the Jedi Consular class. That's weird. I don't know how are we gonna do that? Are we just gonna rank them based off, their boss fights? Are we just gonna base Darth Nox on him defeating Thanaton? And I'm gonna say up until the end of their story arcs. So when Sith Inquisitor beat Thanaton, Sith Warrior beat Barriss, Hero of Tython beat Vitiate, and I haven't played Jedi Consular, so I don't know how that ended, so yeah. So yeah, where would we put the Sith Inquisitor from SWTOR? Or do you want to skip him? I mean, we can skip him as well, because he's a little complex, but Darth Nox is probably an A tier for beating Thanaton. I'd agree. I would agree. He was very capable. He was very, very capable. I'll put him A tier. Here we go. So go with Plo and T. Alright. We're gonna keep chugging. Alright, Dark Empire Luke, or S tier. I mean, I don't know if I'd put him S tier. I mean, he could. He'd be a low S tier. If he was an S tier, he would be at, the bottom of S tier. But, yeah, so, alright, we're moving into Dark Empire Luke Skywalker. This is Dark Empire. I call him Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, not Jedi Grandmaster, but this is the Luke who fell to the dark side. He got redeemed. He fought Dark Empire Sidious in a lightsaber duel. I think he lost, but he lost initially, and then Leia used her Force Harmony, and, when they used, Force Harmony, they were able to, he was able to defeat Sidious. I think Dark Empire Luke is very powerful. I mean, this is a man who is, completely wrecked AT-ATs. He fought Cedrus and overpowered him. He held his own against Dark Empire Sidious. High SS tier or low SSS tier, higher than Dark Empire Palpatine. Well, I don't know if I'd put him higher than Dark Empire. Dark Empire Luke is S tier, basically what Jake Skywalker could have been. Yes. I'm gonna put him SS. Yeah, SS is more like it. I agree. Because he could, without Leia, he wouldn't have beaten Dark Empire Sidious. So I don't think he should go higher. But, yeah, SS is... I'm gonna put him right there. So that sounds about more like it. So all right. So this is Vaylin. Now Vaylin is she is the daughter from the Knights of the Eternal Throne and Knights of the Fallen Empire. Lower than Palpatine. Yeah, he's much lower than Palpatine. But all right, moving on to Vaylin. Vaylin, she was the daughter of Valkorion, and I think personally, Vaylin is one of the most underrated Star Wars characters. Just period. She was the daughter in the cinematic trailer for Knights of the Eternal Throne, and I mean in SWTOR, like in her first level, she is able to use the Force on a power generator that's powering like basically the whole city of that planet, and she grabs it and it's huge, like it's powering the entire planet. She just picks it up and chucks it like a beast. Vaylin is probably an S tier. She's basically Daemon from The Omen as a Star Wars character. Oh yeah, she definitely has similarities. Or Carrie, yeah, she's an S tier. I think S tier is fair. I mean, she'll go right with her brother Arkin. She'll go because Arkin got S tier when we last. I think she's a little stronger than Arkin, but yeah, we'll put her. Stephen King's Carrie. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I can see where you're coming from. All right, so we got TCW Obi-Wan Kenobi. So this is Obi-Wan purely in TCW. For our next one, so no Revenge of the Sith, just him in his Clone Wars armor, as he becomes Jedi Master, so just TCW material. So, I mean, he's inconsistent, but that's everything with TCW. I mean, 1 minute he's taking on Ventress and Grievous, and the next he's losing to Cad Bane. The only thing that I think they kept really consistent with him and Anakin was his duels with Dooku. Dooku, in my opinion, was the most consistent character in TCW, and that's saying something, but I think of all the characters, and Sidious, I guess, and Sidious, Wrecking Maul, and Savage, like an absolute beast. So, yeah. Yeah, where would TCW Kenobi go? I mean, he's a B tier, I guess. Yeah, I'll give him a B tier. I would agree with that. I mean, he isn't at his Revenge of the Sith peak just yet. He didn't reach his Revenge of the Sith just yet, but he's getting there. He's getting there. So, alright, so we got Tahiri Vela. So, Tahiri Vela was, she was a Jedi Padawan or Jedi Knight during the New Jedi Order. And she was very capable. In fact, she was Anakin Solo's love interest during the war. And he died, and she got really sad. And then she became Darth Caedus's Sith apprentice for temporarily. And because he would use his powers. Yeah, B tier, strong but inconsistent. Yeah, that's TCW. So, yeah. If Gen Sarai 1 knows I said, like, that's something I would hear Gen Sarai 1 say. Yeah, inconsistent, yeah, but that's TCW. I don't know. I'll write that one down for him. But, I don't know him, though. I've never met him, so. But anyway, going back to Tahiri Vela. Yeah, basically, she became so obsessed with Anakin Solo that she had Caedus use the flow walking ability to bring her back to him. That was really weird. I mean, she was kind of freaking me out with the kind of flow walking just to be with Anakin Solo. It's like, grow up. But, she was capable. She did survive the Yuuzhan Vong War, so she was at least capable. She was at least capable with lightsaber combat, and probably pretty capable in the Force. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know where I'd put Tahiri Vela. So, I mean, maybe high C tier, maybe B tier. I mean, tricking me. I mean, she's definitely capable. She isn't that bad, but compared to other characters, I mean, it's not much. Yeah, I can't figure it out. Alright, oh, you're back, Raiderman, cool. C tier, low, B tier. I would say that. Personally, I would say that. So, I'm gonna put her there for now. If you have any arguments to the contrary, put them down below. I will debate, and I will make everyone happy. So, I'll put her higher. And then, for our last character of the evening, don't worry, there will be more live streams, I swear. Next week, we will have a live stream. I promise. But we have one last character, and that is Tenel Ka-Jo. She was the baby mama with Darth Kaitis. I don't think they ever got married, but I remember they did have a daughter together. She was Darth Kaitis, or Jason Solo's love interest. She had a really cool lightsaber with the big tooth on the bottom and the really cool like cyan blade. She was so cool. She wasn't the coolest Jedi ever, but yeah, she was also a Jedi in the NJO, and she was also a survivor of the Yuuzhan Vong. So yeah, I don't know where I'd place Tenel. I mean, she got her arm cut off by Jacen in a sparring session when they were Padawans. She wasn't much of a fighter, was she? She was more like a diplomat. Which, I mean, yeah, I don't know where I'd put Tenel Ka, honestly. Maybe around the same? Like, I'd probably put her higher than Tahiri, though. I'd put her slightly above Tahiri Bela. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I might put her around the same. If you guys have any arguments against that, I might put her like B tier. I'd say around B tier. Oh, she just went to B tier. So if you have any arguments to the contrary, put them down below. And that would do it for this live stream. We will have another one either next Friday or next Saturday. For sure, we will be having one either of those days. So, in the meantime, yeah. So, we will continue. I'm kind of clueless, sorry. Oh, it's okay, I'm clueless too, myself, so it's all good, it's all good. So, alright, so, we're gonna run through the characters. Again, we do this at the end of every live stream. We kind of go through the characters and we see where we would place our characters. So, in the unrivaled category, we have the father of Mortis, Abeloth, and the son of Mortis. See you soon, Diamond. Wish I followed your other streams earlier. Oh, that's all good. It's all good, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you joined. I'm glad you joined the live streams. I'm glad you joined in and gave your opinions. They pretty justified. They got us through pretty good. So we got our Mortis gods. By the way, just call me Dan. Oh, okay, Dan. Alright. Alrighty, so I'll call you Dan. Alright. So that's all good. So alrighty. So SSS, we have Dark Empire, Sidious, Yoda, Exar, Kaitis, Krayt, Nihilus, Kip, Vitiate. Yeah, we don't really need to go through all these characters. But yeah, that's going to do it for this live stream. Hope y'all enjoyed. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.